Welcome to Pro Life Without Borders with Sarah and Mikayla. We are taking a break from our guest series.
Yeah, we're back
to talk about
the original setup.
So, honestly, I really question why we didn't just do what we do with guests from the beginning.
I was actually thinking about that this morning as I was lamenting having to carry the table in here, which is not like by any means a heavy table or an inconvenience in any way, but I feel like I should preface this episode by saying we're in the thick of VBS at my church, and so that's why I look the way that I do. And that's why I feel the way that I feel. And a child actually asked me if I was close to dying yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So,
and the answer honestly was probably yes.
And the answer was closer than I think I should be.
Nobody really understands the toll that VBS takes on a human being until you're an adult trying to do it.
Yeah.
Because I remember as teenagers, I was actually just talking to my mom about this. The church that I grew up in was Mennonite. It was Mennonite church in the Saucon Valley. So it was I think its mailing address was Coopersburg.
Okay.
It was like Coopersburg, Quakertown, Pennsylvania. And they were like over all of the offerings that you could buy, and they just made their own VBS curriculum.
Yeah.
And I remember as a kid,
church do that.
Yeah, as a kid, we had these really involved skits. It was all like based all around a story of the Bible, and we would make the church like look like it was from the Bible times. Like everybody was in costume. We had a gong.
Nice.
It was intense. And I remember spending months prepping for these skits and doing things and then just having the best time during VBS because we were all together. We were all doing this stuff. And now looking back, I'm like, those poor women that probably started prepping VBS like the week after the previous one finished and writing skits and music and lessons and activities. And then the one day we were prepping for it, and one of the women that went to the church, because they were like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we had a gong that would signal when people would switch stations? And she's like, oh, I think I have a gong at home. And everyone's like, yeah. You're not sure? Like, you might have a gong at home, but you might not.
Dig around for a little bit.
It was this big.
Wow.
Like, it was.
She, like, didn't remember?
Huge. Because we're like, oh, God. Like, she'll probably come with it. Yeah. No. Huge.
Wow.
Yeah. And she couldn't remember if she had it.
Yeah. Yeah, VBS is really something.
It's weird, like you're making things out of boxes, and you're
like our sanctuary looks like a train station, and like we're all just like rolling with it, like we're just accepting it for what it is, and we're like, there's a cardboard train in our sanctuary, and some of our like piping in our basement, like our basement is our fellowship hall, and we have like like some pipes that are running through it. Those are cacti now. Like there's pool noodles taped to things, and
the number of crafts you can make with a cardboard box and a pool noodle is really it's almost limitless.
Yeah, and I show up, and ours is in the morning because that's just what works best for like the community that my church is in. And so I get to go to VBS in the morning, and I feel dead after, and then I get to drag my lifeless body here and try to fit 8 hours at least of work into like 5. Maybe 6.
Yes. So last year, because Jeremiah was still in the hospital and everything was going on, I actually took the week off just to do VBS.
I wish that I had done that.
People are like, oh, you're going to be on vacation. And I was like,
worse.
Vacation Bible school.
No, I wish I had taken the time off, but I had like, I have things I have to get done. But yeah, I was looking at my PTO and I was like, I don't know that I could swing a full week just for VBS.
You have tons of PTO.
Yeah, but I think I need to use it for other things. So
you have literally never run out of PTO.
But what if this is the year?
I think I would let you slide because you've literally never run out of PTO. Like if you came to me and you were like, I'm out of PTO, first I would fall off my chair because that never happens. And second, I would just give it to you.
I appreciate that.
I should have told you that on Monday.
Yeah, that would have been great because now it's Thursday and VBS is almost over and it's been good. And VBS is a good thing. And I encourage people, especially single people, to volunteer for VBS. If you've got flexible work hours like I do, volunteer for VBS. But I have gone to Dunkin' Donuts every single day this week.
It's expensive. So I cannot take the week off either because we have too many other senior staff out next week.
Yeah.
And we have too much going on for me to just peace out for a week. So, but I am leaving it for every day.
I appreciate that because I think you and I are the only senior staff next week, and I appreciate you not just peacing out.
Have fun running the center.
I feel like we know you're still recovering from VBS, but
So, but I'm leaving at 4 every day.
Okay.
Because
Yeah,
I have to
that's
be
fine.
at the church at 5:30
Yeah,
and I have to get home and have something to eat and then like pick all my kids up because they're all volunteering too. And then get to VBS in time because I'm doing the Bible study. Zeke is 11 and he is going into 7th grade. So this is his first year not attending and actually helping. And so he's running the kindergartners.
Okay.
Eli's in summer camp, so he can't do it. And then Tommy is, so he was supposed to be helping with games, and no one signed up to run games. So my 15-year-old is running games.
We have like the teenage boys are running our games. I'm teaching 6, 7, and 8-year-olds.
Yeah.
So the way ours is set up is like I'm with them all of the time, and I do their Bible time.
Okay. So our Bible time, they move in groups.
Yeah.
And then like they come to Bible time, and that's where I am.
Yeah, we have our Bible time separate just because we do have like some pretty significant age gaps. I think there's people that are like really good at speaking with little kids and really good at working with older teens, and I'm just kind of like shoved in the middle trying to keep my kids alive.
Yeah. So then Jonah is of the older 4. He has 2 years left of VBS. So he and the twins will have 1 year of overlap. But last year we were talking about like Christ dying on the cross, which obviously you talk about every year. Yeah. And I said something like, I have 6 sons, and how many of them do you think I would give up for you? And Jonah was like, and all the other kids are like, none. And Jonah's like,
yeah, no, we were talking about the life of Jesus. That's like the theme of VBS this week is like the whole life of Christ.
I know, because we're doing the exact same.
I know,
VBS,
like, do you need some decorations?
Honestly, I don't have time to decorate. So if you guys have stuff you don't want to,
we have a bunch of tumbleweeds.
I want tumbleweeds. Can I come get the tumbleweeds?
Maybe I'll ask Pastor Ben.
Yeah, ask him if he doesn't want them anymore. Yeah, I mean, what would he do?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I doubt anything. So, yeah, and so yesterday we were talking about Jesus's ministry years, which were from the time he was 30 to 33.
Yes. Oh, that's right. Because today would have been
today's day 4.
Wait. Oh, you don't start on Sunday because you do it in the morning.
No.
So
yeah.
you still have
we
tomorrow.
We go Monday to Friday. Yes. Yeah,
okay,
so I still have tomorrow.
That's why I was like, when you came in, I was like, you're done, and you were like,
no, I'm not done.
Okay.
I got one more day.
We start Sunday night.
Yeah.
And we go through Thursday night.
Yeah. No, we do Monday to Friday. So, so we were talking about Jesus's ministry years, day 4. Or day 3, and how he was 30 when he started. And Miss Mikayla had the bright idea of disclosing to her 6, 7, and 8-year-olds that she is the same age that Jesus was when he started his ministry. And that is when a young girl raised her hand and said, "Are you close to dying?"
No, but you are.
And I said, "We don't know how close we are to dying." We could be closer than you think, which did not necessarily calm their fears, but that's what you get for going to a Reformed Presbyterian VBS.
It's accurate.
It's accurate. God's sovereignty, baby. I don't know. I could be close. I could be 50 years away. Who's to say?
Who's to say? So Mark, our pastor, our chaplain here too, is the like enforcer. Mm-hmm. So if you have a kid that is totally out of control, because Mark is terrifying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like if he was mad at me, I would probably cry. Yeah. I mean, actually he has been mad at me. So I guess I didn't, but whatever. And so the 1 year, again, Jonah, everything is Jonah. He cracks me up. He's my 4th. And for a long time, he was my youngest. Anyway, there was this one girl that was just really not listening. Mm-hmm. And so he came in and used his like serious dad voice. Yeah. Jonah was upset. Oop. Like crawling into my lap, like laying his head on my chest. I'm like, buddy, you're not even in trouble. like you have no one is yelling at you. It wasn't even like, oh, the whole group is in trouble because no, he was 100% just talking to this kid. And Jonah's like, it's like he's like curled up into a little ball. He couldn't take it. I was like, buddy, you didn't do anything wrong.
I love VBS. We have some really great stories from VBS this year, so it's good. It's good work.
It's good stuff. It's important. Lots of
tiring, and so this is just how I look today.
Lots of kids find Jesus.
Yeah.
Lots of kids' relationships with Jesus are strengthened, and we've seen tons of families start attending church after their kids come to VBS. So I love it. I mean, I think it's fantastic, but it is a lot.
It is a lot, and so I'm like, oh, all right. Like, and so we've got quite the whiplash today because I spent my morning in VBS, and then I've spent my afternoon in I think what might be the darkest website on the internet.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that. I did this yesterday, and I'm not going to lie, it ruined my entire day.
Yeah, it's ruined my day.
So what we are talking about is the Satanic Temple. And you might be thinking, why would you talk about the Satanic Temple on a pro-life podcast? Well, there's actually a bunch of really concerning reasons. But the biggest one, and this is something that we've been watching for a little bit now, is that the Satanic Temple is opening abortion clinics, and they are using religious freedom to say that they cannot be restricted.
Yeah.
So their religion includes the right to abortion, or includes the sacrifice or the act of abortion. And so it cannot be limited by the government because it is freedom of religion and religious expression.
Yeah, it's
bad.
Really something.
So there are 3 abortion clinics now run by the Satanic Temple.
Yes.
The first one was called the Right to Your Life Satanic Abortion Clinic in Virginia. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the second one. That's in Virginia, and you can find it online. I'm not going to give you the website. You can find it yourself. Then the first one was opened in New Mexico, and it is called Samuel Alito's Mom's Satanic Abortion Clinic. And so the idea is that if Samuel Alito, Justice Alito's mother, had an abortion,
that one actually has some interesting little cartoons to advertise it. Yeah, I saw those too.
Very dark, very awful. I can't imagine being Sam Alito, or I mean, I'm assuming his mother has passed, given that he's kind of older, but maybe she hasn't. And now, like, they've named an abortion clinic after her, saying she should have had an abortion. And then the most recent one opened last month in Maine and is called the President's Huge YUGE Most Beautiful Tremendous Satanic Abortion Clinic. It's telehealth, and they opened it on Donald Trump's birthday, June 14th, providing telehealth abortion care throughout the state of Maine. And then they go on and talk about Dobbs and the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, we have to realize that these are not abortion clinics that are being run by the Satanic Temple, and they're sort of like this very clean, very professional exterior. And you have to kind of dig to find out that they're being run by the Satanic Temple.
No, like the Satanic Temple is literally, I think, in every single name.
Yes. The satanic symbols are in their names. The Satanic Temple is in their names. The names themselves are awful for them. I mean, they're just awful. And so we really have been, very unfortunately, deep diving into the Satanic Temple to see what they are, first of all. And it's pretty dark. It's pretty bad.
I am not feeling super well because of VPS. But also, like, it was really dark. Like, my office is not a very happy place right now.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
and
spiritually, like, it feels
like you're dipping your brain in vegetable oil.
Yeah. Like, I feel icky. Like, I'm going to go home and take a shower and probably clear my browser history on my work laptop.
I did that this morning.
And, yeah, I don't like.
Well, and Mary Jo's like, well, you could search in incognito mode. And I was like, this feels weird enough.
Like, I don't need to be in incognito.
I don't need to be. Well, and then, because I was printing stuff off, and I was like warning everyone, like, if you see satanic stuff being printed off on the printer, it's me.
Yeah.
But also, don't freak out.
I was like printing and then running to the printer so that I would be there to like kind of like catch it and run back.
Mary Jo always catches.
We have volunteers in the office today, and I was just like, oh, I really don't need a volunteer being like, hey, and because sometimes they do that because they're so nice that they'll like pick something up off the printer and bring it back, and I'm like, I really don't need the satanic abortion ritual to be picked up and delivered to my office.
So before we get to the satanic abortion ritual, which is a statement I never thought I would say, I printed an article off of BBC. Okay, so pretty solid, pretty like standard news. The Satanic Temple, think you know about Satanists, maybe you don't. And so one of the weirdest things I'm finding about this Satanic Temple is they claim that they are not really a religion.
Right, but they're using religious exemptions, but they actually don't even believe in Satan.
Right, but they worship him.
Right.
Or worship.
But it's not a religion.
But it's not a religion. So everything is very dark. There's tons of imagery that's very disturbing and concerning. Yeah. They have this idol of Baphomet.
Yep.
Everywhere.
You can get it on t-shirts.
Yes, t-shirts,
I don't know if
hats.
You went to the shop.
You can get.
But I went to the shop.
Did you see the children's book?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the children's book. And this all started in 2019.
Yeah.
So, Goodnight Baphomet. That's what the children's book is called.
Yes.
And so they're all about, so they do something called unbaptism. Did you read about that?
Mm-mm.
So they do this ritual called unbaptism for people who are baptized into Christianity and want to renounce that baptism.
Okay. Well, that's not how baptism
No, not really. Members say they don't believe in a literal Lucifer or hell. Instead, they believe Satan is a metaphor for questioning authority and grounding your beliefs in science. The sense of community around these shared values makes it a religion, they say. They do use the symbols of Satan, this is interesting, for rituals. For example, when celebrating a wedding or adopting a new name. That might include having an upside-down neon cross on your altar while shouting, "Hail Satan."
They also sold Hail Satan hoodies. So they're not worshiping him, but they are worshiping him, but they're not a religion, but they are.
Right. Well, and the thing is,
wholly confused by the Satanic Temple, to be honest.
It's not even holy. It's
well, like
play on words. Yes, I know what you're saying.
Whoops.
So one of the things Mikayla and I were talking about before we got on the podcast is that, and I really started thinking about who is Satan as I was like researching this, right? Now, there is a part during the temptations of Christ where Jesus was tempted to worship Satan. He said, worship me and everything that you see will be yours.
Yep.
Other than that, and I'm not claiming to be a theologian, you don't see Satan being worshipped.
No, because
so you see idols being worshipped.
Right. But like Satan himself wasn't, because even like in the Garden of Eden, he wasn't worshipped. Like he was literally just like, do you really think God knows what's up?
Right. And that seems to be exactly what he's doing today. So this says, members don't believe in a literal Lucifer or hell. Instead, they believe Satan is a metaphor for questioning authority and grounding your beliefs in science. And of course, we know that they don't mean real science. They mean,
whatever
godless
suits
science.
Them.
Yes. So Satan, as much as they're like, oh, we don't even really believe in Lucifer, we don't really believe in Satan, they obviously do because they've been completely tricked because they're doing exactly what Satan would want them to do.
Yeah.
So they rip up Bibles. They wear horns. They take children to these conferences. They're very, very politically active, filing lawsuits to defend the separation of church and state. So they essentially take their satanic religion and they're like, oh, well, you have a nativity scene. Well, we want to put up a 2.5 or an 8 foot tall statue of Baphomet. So if we can't put up a statue of Baphomet, you can't put up the 10 Commandments, or you can't put up a nativity scene. They're huge into abortion access. Obviously, they have those 3 abortion clinics. They have a ritual, which we'll talk about.
They're also very LGBTQ affirming, and
especially transgenderism.
I was about to say there was a lot of stuff about transgenderism on
which should really tell you something. Like if the Satanic Temple is pro something, I think I'm basically automatically against it.
Yeah, like I think that's a pretty good litmus test just in general. Like if the literal Satanists are vibing with it, it's probably not
a good deal.
Not a great.
So opponents will say that it frightens children. I would agree.
Yeah, it frightened me, and I'm 30 years old.
We know. You told all the kids you're almost dead. But the Satanic Temple says its content is demon-free. They have a kids song called My Pal Satan with a bopping animated goat and the lines, Satan's not an evil guy. He wants you to learn and question why. He wants you to have fun and be yourself. And by the way, there is no hell, which doesn't rhyme. Yeah. But yes, I would say the song is actually accurate until the last line. Well, so the 2 middle lines are accurate. Satan is an evil guy. That's not, their statement is not accurate. He wants you to question why.
Yes.
He wants you to have fun and be yourself.
Yep.
And by the way, there is hell. Satan is real. But yeah, Satan wants you to question God. That's exactly how he was vibing in the Garden of Eden. And he wants you to be yourself. And that's a really like, oh yeah, be yourself. No, he wants you to worship yourself.
Yes. So that was a very interesting, and I mean, we'll get into it whenever we start talking about the actual ritual. But self is a major, if not the major tenet of this religion. And they do, in fact, use the term tenets.
Yes, I have the 7 fundamental tenets right here.
Okay. Yeah. So I just have like the 3 that were involved with the ritual. But yeah, I
tried to not print any of the satanic crests because they were all very bothersome. I'm actually going to shred all of this when I'm done. I'm not even going to put it in the recycling.
I'll give these to you and you can shred them because these do have like imagery on them. So these tenets are, I mean, so the first one is one should strive to act with compassion and empathy toward all creatures in accordance with reason. So like right off the bat, they're not even listening to their first tenet, but whatever.
I guess it's not reasonable to act in accord with compassion and empathy towards an unborn child.
Yeah, I guess not. So tenet 2, the struggle for justice is an ongoing and necessary pursuit that should prevail over laws and institutions.
Question who determines what the struggle for justice is.
Right. And I think the struggle for justice could be a good thing, depending on how we're defining it. Prevailing over laws and institutions. There's a lot to unpack there. There's just like...
Well, and I think we have to remember too that Satan is the father of lies.
Yeah.
And these people, starting in 2019, bought into it hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
Like, and they said, so in 2019 they had maybe 10,000 members. Okay, so that's when it started.
Yeah.
Now they have over 700,000 members.
It's insane.
It is insane, and it's so dark.
Yeah.
And it's so self-absorbed and self-focused, and like, even if you see, like, I was fully expecting to go to the website and see like clean, professional. No, it's all dark.
Something, yeah, like something
Skulls
kind of
on the walls, satanic. Everything is very like the goat, the pentagram, the Baphomet statue.
Yep.
I mean, they're not hiding it.
No,
they're not pretending that it's like very clean and it's very neat and it's very bright. No, they are 100% embracing the darkness of Satan and the darkness of, you know, the principalities of this world, and they're loving it.
Yeah. So the third tenet, and this is one that'll come into play when we talk about the abortion ritual: one's body is inviolable, subject to one's own will alone. And so this to me is kind of like the first mention of the self.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes on, the freedom of others should be respected, including the freedom to offend. That's fun. To willfully and unjustly encroach upon the freedoms of another is to forego one's own. Interesting.
Which is a very interesting take.
Interesting.
So if you encroach on someone else's freedom, you're forgoing your own freedom.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Like,
because it sounds very threatening. It
does sound very threatening. Also, what about the freedom and, you know, of the unborn? Like they're definitely encroaching on some stuff there. It's just a mess. Belief should conform to one's best scientific understanding of the world. One should take care never to distort scientific facts to fit one's beliefs. Interesting, because there were definitely some distortion of facts, and we can get into that later. People are fallible. If one makes a mistake, one should do one's best to rectify it and resolve any harm that might have been caused. That's like probably the most solid thing they've got to offer on the whole website.
It's interesting, though, that they talk about mistakes, but there's no mention of like moral right or wrong.
No, it's just mistake. And then they also don't seem to have any concept of consequences. Like, there's no mention of like reparations or anything.
Yeah.
It's just, whoops.
Sorry.
Whoops.
I don't even know if there's a sorry.
No, it's just, whoops. It's just like fix it and move on. And then the last one is every tenet is a guiding principle designed to inspire nobility in action and thought. The spirit of compassion, wisdom, and justice should always prevail over the written or spoken word. That just, I'm not going to lie, that straight up sounds like something ChatGPT would write.
Well, and the interesting thing, too, is there's not a lot of compassion when you even reading these quotes in these articles. No. There's a lot of derision. There's a lot of mockery. There's a lot of darkness. There's a lot of just like, how extreme can I get? How much can I mock Christians? Because honestly, the whole thing is about mocking Christianity.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole point.
I mean, every abortion clinic that they named has like mockery.
Right.
Like, they're mocking the president. They're mocking, you know, justices. Like, they're mocking everybody.
Right.
That's
so where's the compassion and wisdom and justice?
No. It's a treat.
It's horrifying. Don't go to the website. I'm just gonna...
No, don't.
If you're thinking like, oh, I better check it out, don't check it out. It was not a good time.
Don't.
But I think the thing that shocked me the most was how new it is.
Yeah. No, it hasn't been around.
It's kind of scary how it's grown from 10,000 to 700,000 in 6 years.
Yeah. So abortion access is a very big part of what they're interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the ways that they're using this religion, because their whole thing is basically like, well, it's part of our religious beliefs, so you can't force us to do anything, right? They're using the religious exemption,
right,
thing. And so I looked into like, okay, how did they make it part of their belief? Because you can't just be like, well, I believe in abortion, and like it's a protected religious belief. There's like actual things that have to be subscribed to. There's like very formal. I was reading a bit about like how to make a religion. My search history is really weird.
You're gonna need to run CCleaner when we're done with this.
Like it's really weird. But there's actually
how to make a religion. You're gonna
it's really bad. But there's actually like a lot that goes into it.
Okay.
And so
I've never even tried. I didn't even occur to me. I'm like
it turns out I'm too lazy to even try to make one. Like I read about it and I was like, that is so much work.
It does seem like a lot of work.
And I've decided that I'm probably not going to do that.
I think Pastor Brown would approve.
Yeah. But one of the things that I guess the law, for lack of a better term, requires of something for it to be considered an actual religion is rituals. And Christianity, I would hesitate to use the term ritual, but we do have things that we do that are a part of,
like communion.
Yes, we have
weddings,
communion,
baptisms,
things like that.
Yeah.
And so the Satanic Temple has to have rituals in order to be considered a religion, and that's their whole basis of abortion access is like, well, so they've got what they have just named the Satanic abortion ritual.
And like, let's just wrap your head around this. They're not trying to hide it.
No.
So think about this. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, could they do this? No. And like our culture has shifted. We have slipped. We have fallen down on our watch. And now you can go out there and have an entire satanic website and people think it's fantastic.
Yeah. So we've got the Satanic abortion ritual. And I printed this off directly from the website. So I'll read parts of it. The Satanic abortion ritual is a destruction ritual that serves as a protective rite. Its purpose is to cast off notions of guilt, shame, and mental discomfort that a patient may be experiencing due to choosing to have a legal and medically safe abortion. So they're already working off of some assumptions here.
Like medically safe?
Yeah, or legal.
Well, so far they're all in states where it's legal. Virginia, New Mexico, and Maine.
That's true, but they have you don't have to go to a clinic to have the Satanic abortion ritual.
Right. Yeah.
So like these are happening in states where it's not legal. Yeah. You can do your own. In fact, they actually use the term build your own Satanic abortion ritual. So if you don't like theirs, you can just build your own.
Okay.
So even the most confident and unapologetic individual can experience uncomfortable feelings and anxiety for choosing to terminate their pregnancy. At least that's a fact.
Yeah, I mean,
like
they've got that.
Yeah,
they know that.
Laws in many states that impose waiting periods and state-mandated counseling can exacerbate these feelings, as can social condemnation and outright harassment by those who oppose abortion. It goes on to talk about misinformation and how it's being distributed, especially those driven by religious convictions that disregard the beliefs and freedoms of others. So they say this ritual is designed to alleviate some of these stressors and empower the patient to be guided by the third and fifth tenets when pursuing their decision. So again, one's body is inviolable, subject to one's own will. And then belief should conform to one's best scientific understanding of the world.
Right. Well, and it's so, just hear the Antichrist tones in this. Like Christians, we would never say that our body is subject to our own will, right? We're subject to God's will. It's just so disturbing.
Yeah, it's strange. So a little bit about the ritual itself, and I'm not going to get too into it because like it is genuinely just disturbing. But it says it includes the abortion itself, spans the entirety of the pregnancy termination procedure. There's steps to be performed during, before, and after. Let's see. Oh, and then there's a lot of talk because they're deeply personal. There's variations. So there's a ritual, but also there's not a ritual because you can build your own. There's no need to purchase anything.
Isn't there like a specific thing they're supposed to say though?
What is essential is the spirit and the general intent of the ritual. They do say one can also perform their favorite destruction ritual to target any of the unwanted feelings incited by adversity faced as a consequence of choosing to have an abortion. Feel free to take or leave whatever you wish from this one to build your own. Okay.
I would like to not build my own destruction ritual. Thank you.
Yes. So they talk, preparing for the ritual, blah, blah, blah. And then they get into the actual ritual itself. And so I do think that this is important to read. So for medical abortion, so they're talking about abortion pills. Immediately before taking the medication to terminate your pregnancy, look at your reflection or imagine yourself.
So self-worship.
Yes, yeah. To be reminded of your personhood and your responsibility to yourself. Focus on your intent. Take deep breaths and make yourself comfortable. When ready, read the third tenet aloud to begin the ritual. So again, one's body is inviolable. After swallowing the medication, take another deep breath and recite the fifth tenet about conforming to scientific understanding. After you have passed the embryo, return to your reflection and recite the personal affirmation. And the personal affirmation is, by my body, my blood, by my will, it is done.
Right. Okay. So that's in direct. That just flies in the face of Christianity.
I was about to say that is a very familiar statement.
I'm like very uncomfortable.
It's like I'm not wanting to read all of these because it feels like I'm like doing a ritual.
I don't want to do a ritual.
And I don't want to do a ritual, and I don't even believe in the ritual, and I'm still like I don't want to read the whole thing.
So uncomfortable. So by my body, by my will. Like that's not how Christians
by my
do
body,
things.
my
blood.
By my body, my blood, by my will, it is done.
Yeah. So those are all things that are pulled right out of Christianity, and they should be said. It should be God's will.
Yeah.
It should be Christ's blood.
Yeah.
And not ours. Like not our will.
These are statements from Christ.
Yes.
Not
us. And so it's
people.
not about Satan. I believe Satan is not he's not looking for people to worship him. He knows that the easiest thing is to get people to worship themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like, look in the mirror, like look at yourself.
Imagine yourself. Think about your responsibility to yourself. Yeah. And then they say, feel doubts dissipating and your confidence growing as you have just undertaken a decision that affirms your autonomy and free will. The religious abortion ritual is now complete. That is the only information, by the way, that they provide about the actual abortion procedure, like from a medical standpoint. It's just take the pills, your abortion's complete.
Yep, and say these words.
To
make it a ritual so it's part of religious freedom.
There's no mention about what happens after you take those pills, what to expect. I mean, they mentioned passing the embryo. An embryo is like they're implying, maybe early pregnancy, but like, you get into 9, 10, 11, 16, however many weeks someone's going to be when they do this. That's not what they're going to expect.
Well, and there's no talk about like side effects, risks, what to do maybe they talk about that in their clinic, but it's not on their website.
No, it's not anywhere on their website at all. I looked. So that's the ritual, is look at yourself in the mirror, say some flowery things, and boom.
Yeah. So one of the other things I saw in the article that I printed off from the BBC is this individual. So a lot of people change their names when they join the Satanic Temple.
There's a whole ritual for that as well.
Yeah. And a lot of people do it in their unbaptism, which is, again, directly counter to Christianity, where children are given names at baptism, and now they're being given a new name in some new faith religion thing that essentially is saying, I don't want my baptism anymore. I don't want to be Christian. I don't want to be associated with Christianity.
Yeah.
So this person has a Satanym, which is what they call it.
Oh, okay.
Satanism stands for everything I believe in, including bodily autonomy, compassion, respect, science. And Satan represents those who were cast out, those who think differently. I never found my friends being accepted in Christian circles. The appeal of Satan is that he is the accepting one, the inclusive one, and someone I can identify with. Although I don't believe he actually exists.
It's not funny. It's
not. It's actually really sad.
I was about to say it's really sad because you and I can see just how blatant of a lie. Like that doesn't even make sense.
Right.
But these people are convinced.
Yes.
Like they genuinely believe this.
Yeah. The other thing I looked up yesterday that I wish I hadn't was about Baphomet.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's their idol.
Yeah, they're really big into that.
Really big into it. It's like the horned goat thing. They have pictures of children hanging out with it. They have,
I think he's in some cartoons.
Yes,
Yeah.
they have altars to him in their homes. They have altars to him in their temples. Giant statues everywhere. It's extremely dark. Very like turn of the millennium, like early church like vibes. Like I could see like this statue being or something similar being in like a temple in like Corinth, and the Christians are walking back and forth. So very dark, very upsetting. One of the things I thought was really interesting is they're like, oh, Baphomet is an invented god.
Well, at least they're honest.
And I'm like, well, there's only one who isn't.
Yeah. I was
right?
At least they call a spade a spade.
And so they have this idol, this dark idol that supposedly surfaced for the first time during the Knights Templar. So we're talking about like the early 1000s.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was around before that. But yeah, these people just, and I'm thinking of like the golden calf in the Old Testament, like they made a calf and they were like, hey, let's all get together and worship it.
Yeah.
And that's what these people have basically done. They've taken this symbol, this statue, this thing, and they've decided we're going to worship it. And then they're also convincing themselves that they're not worshiping it.
Yeah. Like they're completely deceived in every possible facet.
Right. And as gross as it felt to even be on the website in my Christian facility, like surrounded by Christians, praying, like the Lord is with me at all times, I can't even imagine what it would feel like to walk into one of their temples.
No. I was talking with some people at church this morning and they were like, oh, like, what are you doing for the rest of your day? And I was like, I've got to research the Satanic Temple. And they were like very concerned that I was going to a Satanic Temple.
I could see honestly why they think we would do that.
I was like,
I'll be honest with you.
That's valid. And I don't know where the nearest one to us is.
It's in Pittsburgh.
Is it in Pittsburgh? Mm-hmm. Because like it would be tempting. Because I'm just naturally a very curious person. But like I don't know that I could actually do it.
No. I mean, looking at the pictures online was more than enough.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know that I could actually physically bring myself to go in.
Like I'm getting nauseous just thinking.
Yeah, I was like, I actually feel very it's a mess. It's a mess. And they're very deceived. And they're very prolific might be the word. There's a lot on their website.
Yes. Well, and they're very interested in bringing other people to their cause and other people to their belief system and their belief structure. And it's all the message of inclusivity. It's all about you. It's all about what you want, what you believe, what you think, and everyone's included. Everyone's welcome. Yeah. There's also a lot of sarcasm. There's a lot of just, I would say just disrespect for things that are very solemn and sacred, like Christianity. Mm-hmm. And it's really ugly. It's a very, very ugly religion. Yes. And it is a religion.
It is.
It is a religion, and they worship Satan. I don't care what they say.
Yeah, I was like, that's their whole basis is that they want religious exemptions. But you were talking about like the disrespect. One thing that I personally, I think was probably the most horrifying thing, and part of it is because of a project that we've been working on for the past couple of months. And so this is just something that's kind of been on the front burner for us. They actually have a couple of template letters so that you can send to representatives or, medical doctors, depending, all about like religious rights and freedoms and whatnot. And they actually have a sample letter that's intended to give a physician that is regarding the disposition of human remains. And so we know, like, obviously abortions are killing an unborn child. And very oftentimes there are human remains involved. Mm-hmm. And we have to be very careful about how we handle those. There are laws about how we handle those. And so the Satanic Temple is claiming that requiring proper disposal of human remains is violating the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. And so there's this letter that talks about regarding fetal tissue and fetal remains to be part of the inviolable body, and that any decision about its disposal should be mine and mine alone. In addition, burial practices, interment, cremation are all auspices of religious organizations. And they talk about this is predating the U.S. Constitution, and by dictating specific practices, the state is violating the First Amendment. by requiring the proper disposal of human remains.
Any respect for the unborn child.
There's no. So it says this letter demands that you do not abide by the disposition of embryonic and fetal tissues remains obligations of the FRRA, which is the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. That's like this whole thing. These obligations offend my sincerely held religious beliefs which take precedent. Please attach this letter to any forms you are required to keep. I trust you will honor my religious beliefs and will not deny me medical care or delay requested care because of any inconvenience my religious beliefs may cause. That's such a weird statement because I've never heard of a doctor refusing medical care because someone...
I think, yeah, I don't...
Like, that's just kind of made up, to be honest.
It is definitely made up. It's...
You are not at medical risk for... because you refuse to handle human remains properly.
Right.
Like...
So one thing that pro-lifers have done over the centuries, millennia, is to compare an abortion to the worship of Molech and Chemosh, which are two ancient gods who I believe are demons, who require infant and child sacrifice.
Yes.
And it's something that's mentioned often in the Old Testament and it's condemned in the strongest terms. So whenever you're reading through the Old Testament, you're hearing about the kings of Judah that were sinful and the kings of Israel, because all the kings of Israel were sinful. The Bible really calls out when they worshipped these particular gods more than others. Okay, so they will specifically call these gods out by name and mention child sacrifice. It is abominable to God. And so believers, over the millennia, especially in the 1850s, would compare abortion to this. Modern believers, when we try to do that, we're told that we're being dramatic and that's not it, and that's not true, and that's not what's happening. Well, open your eyeballs, because it is what's happening. Because not only are these women entering into an abortion, which is bad enough, they're entering into a covenant with Satan. So when we're talking about the spiritual warfare and we're talking about spiritual battles, and I'm not like a Satan is behind every bush person.
No,
I'm really
neither
not.
am I.
But this is bad because we're fighting for souls here. And these Satanists who are worshiping Satan, I don't care what they say, are pulling women away at a spiritual level in addition to what they're doing to them through the abortion.
Yeah.
And I'm guaranteed there's women that are doing this ritual and they have no idea what they're even saying.
No, they're in it for the legal protections. Or, like, I want to do one and my state has rules and this is a way that I can skirt around them.
Right. Or they want a cheap abortion because it's only $91 if you go to the Satanic Abortion Clinic.
Yeah.
And so I'll save $200 and I have to say a couple things. Sure, no big deal. What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. Well, our words have power. And by forcing women to do this, it's going to impact them spiritually.
I mean, there's no way that it couldn't.
Yeah.
And the Bible is so, I mean, like you said, like the strongest condemnation is saved for infant sacrifice, child sacrifice. And then also, at least in my church, I don't know how your denomination does it, but when we have church discipline, the strongest, like the most severe form of church discipline is excommunication. So we're saying, and I think I don't have it memorized, but our but our book of church discipline refers to it as essentially handing a person over to the wiles of Satan.
Yeah.
Like, we believe that you are so unrepentant of your sin that we are turning you over to Satan because, like, not that you're a helpless cause, like God can bring you back, but at this point there's nothing we can do.
Right.
You are handed over to Satan, and that is the worst possible thing that could be done by the church.
because you're walking outside of the protection of your church your body of believers.
Right. And so to be handed over to Satan is legitimately the worst thing that could happen to a person.
Yeah. And girls are walking through the doors every day to get their cheap abortion.
And we've made it to where you can have a membership card for being handed over to Satan.
Yeah.
That you can whip out when you feel like your religious protections are at stake or whatever it is.
So there's a lot to unpack here from a Jesus moment perspective. We are in a spiritual battle. It is real. Satan is real, no matter what the Satanic Temple says. And they know he is.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be invoking his name if he wasn't. And Jesus was tempted by Satan in the wilderness and he resisted. And so we have to We have to lean on Christ, lean on God, lean on the church to protect us from what's happening. But we also need to stand up and speak against it, because the Bible tells us that Satan walks around like a roaring lion seeking who he can devour. And he's finding a lot of people to devour right now in the United States.
Yeah.
And if you go all the way back to Genesis, we see, and we talked about this earlier, that Satan, he appeals to our pride.
Yeah, our sense of self.
Yes, our sense of self. You don't need God. God just doesn't want you to be like him. That's what he told Eve and Adam. And they bought it. And now people are buying it every day.
Yep. Oh.
So sorry this episode was really heavy. I'm just going to strongly recommend that you don't go look this stuff up.
I cannot recommend enough not to go looking. If you've got questions, email us at podcast@promiseoflifenetwork.org, and my computer is already probably possessed. So we'll
see what we can do.
I'll try to find the answers for you. But
I literally ran all of the cleaners that we have immediately after.
I strongly recommend not going on there. And I'm not particularly sensitive to, I know some people are more sensitive than others about things like demonic presences, but I am not that sensitive, and I'm not feeling good.
Yeah, no, I really am. And I'm definitely, I thought I was going to take a break and throw up a second ago.
Yeah, same. So, I'm like, what?
Yeah, so keep an eye, especially on your kids, because they have satanic after school clubs.
Oh yeah,
and the schools can't stop them.
A lot of stuff geared to children. Cartoons. There's a whole series.
Picture books, songs with goats bopping. It's so dark. They are definitely after your kids. So keep an eye out at your kids' school. They are using the religious freedom exemption to get into schools and have satanic after school clubs.
Yeah, if you can have an FCA, why can't we have a Satanic Temple kids club?
They have a ton of content that's geared towards kids, so keep an eye on what your kids are buying, what they have, and intervene. You're the parent. Step up and say, no, this isn't okay, this isn't happening in my house. And also keep an eye on what's happening legislatively, because there is no reason that killing an unborn child should be a protected religious act.
No, and the Satanic Temple is very litigious. Yes. There's multiple, I was reading through some of the news, there's multiple lawsuits.
Well, they're looking for anything they can to force us to accept them as a religion, and to accept abortion as a ritual, and to accept that murdering unborn children is part of their religious freedom. And that's frankly appalling.
Yeah.
So sorry for the heaviness. We will try to have something less intense next week. I would hate to think that we found something more intense.
I was about to say, I don't know what could possibly be worse, but guess
we'll find out.
Guess we'll find out.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week.